It's October 1st. Is it winter? Is it spring? Is it summer, fall? I'm wearing a jacket. Chris is wearing shorts. We don't know what we're doing today, just like normal, and we'll get into it right after this.
Just like normal. I messed up.
We're back. That was the show,
We're back.
folks.
I messed up.
You missed the bumper. We had a great conversation.
I did a classic Facebook mess up and logged in as K-ROG instead of myself sharing.
So K-ROG shared K-ROG.
I gotta fix this. It's gonna drive me crazy.
K-ROG, yeah.
She probably overrode the producer too. She's the whole thing is just gone.
It's
It's
collapsing as
deleted.
we speak because I'm not on my A game this morning.
We'll know we're live if Beth says good morning.
She did say good morning.
All right,
I did
there
see
you go.
that.
Good. Good
Top
morning,
of the morning
Beth.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, we have no monitor again.
I don't want to go to K-ROG.
Flying blind. Flying blind.
Who am I?
We know you're out there though,
Here. I guess we do.
and we're
my
here to waffle on.
It is really insisting that I switch to K-ROG today. I love how Facebook's like, oh, you've done something that way for 6 months. We're going to change it.
Yep. Nope.
And then it's going to be changed again tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
They got me last week.
Yeah.
You know, I've ran Facebook ads for years for the real estate stuff. And I did my thing, and I put my budget in, and I hit it, and hit go. And usually that's for the past 10 years, it's been a total budget.
Yeah.
That day, they decided to make it a daily budget.
Oh.
That's your daily budget. And then I about had a stroke. Yeah, accidentally. But luckily, I caught it. Had I not caught it, there's
Give it
no
back,
fixing
Mark.
that.
Give it back.
Zuckerberg, give me my $40 back.
Not gonna do it.
Oh, yeah. So that was fun. But what have you guys been doing?
Jimmy Carter turns 100 years old.
Did I hear that right? He's the only living or only president living.
That's what
He's
they
obviously
said.
living.
First one to ever
Jimmy's
make it.
100,
First one to
Hundo.
ever.
but we lost Chris Christopherson and Pete Rose yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tough day.
And Dikembe Mutombo.
Oh, Dikembe Mutombo.
Is that how you say his name? He wasn't very old. He was only 58.
Yeah, that was,
no,
that's
no,
what he
no.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
Okay, I'm actually
Wow.
getting this fixed now.
Yeah, I
Man.
still, can he be in the Hall of Fame now?
Yeah, no doubt.
Like this.
What do you think about that? Should we have that conversation?
You guys
Well,
can. I don't know
mean,
enough of the details.
Briefly, I think we can. Here's the thing. He did everything that he should have to do to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's
Yeah.
a player, qualified. Nothing that he did
yeah.
takes anything away from the things that, I mean, the gambling. He was caught
Right.
gambling on baseball, which is why they have banned him from the Hall of Fame. But he didn't gamble on, like...
His games,
he's
right?
He's the hit leader, right? Is that?
I don't know.
Yes, all
Oh.
career hits.
Career hits
Yes.
is Pete Rose, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. Well,
Because
gambling
he's
doesn't
snubbed.
really take away from that.
Yeah,
He
so
still
my
did it.
Yeah, he did it, but my problem is how is that worse than the doping?
The
era?
doping,
Yeah.
I don't see how that's worse.
And that's always been my issue with it is there is a lack of moral consistency. If
Well,
we're going to take the moral high ground, then you know
What?
where are
Arguably,
we?
the doping is worse because that actually affected your ability to play the game.
Oh,
yeah, it
100%,
affected other
yeah.
people that you were playing
And, yeah,
against, and yeah,
So he had a gambling issue, and
that says he should be inducted.
well, for me, I mean, a
never
blue
taken a
collar
hard line
player
before,
from a blue collar town who just played the game the way I grew up watching
Charlie
the game.
Hustle.
Yep, you just You took
Play
the extra
hard.
base if they gave it to you.
Yep.
You were always switched on. You did the hard thing. Like, he wasn't flashy.
Nope.
He the Punch and Judy,
Wasn't out there doing
hitter.
backflips on the short,
Well, that's beautiful.
That was
That's-
pretty cool, though.
That's
I have to admit
artistic.
that.
That's our guy.
But no, I
artistic.
mean,
Taking on Ozzy.
he was just just a rugged, blue collar guy who just did the hard work, and he'd do it for the team.
Put a
and
5 spot on the game every now and then.
yeah, and he'd
I
put
think
a
it's
5
right.
spot
He
on the
didn't
game.
gamble on his own games. Wasn't that
But
the
he,
deal?
But he had passion.
I don't
you
think
know?
he gambled on his own games.
I think we'd have to probably get into the details on that.
And who
I don't
knows?
know.
Maybe he did. But again, I say,
think
how's that worse than doping?
Well, and the theory is, you bet against your team. That's when you really get in
Right,
trouble because now
right.
you're throwing.
It never affected the way he played the game.
It didn't. It didn't. I think that's why I think we do know is it didn't affect the way he played the
Yeah.
game, and he deserves to be. On.
Put Pete in.
Put him in.
Put him in.
I bet
Put him
it'll
in.
happen.
Free Pete.
Another baseball news: Mozeliak. He's
I've been asking for it. For
after I
a
think
long time.
he gets transitioned out, and the new guy whose name is I'm gonna say this wrong. Chame something.
Dikembe Mutombo.
No, it's like
I think that's right.
Chaim Chame. It's Booker or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll have to go back and look. I
It
have
sounded like a Texas oil rig.
I've been a lifelong Cardinals fan. In the last 3 years, I have watched less and
I'm gonna
less and
I'm gonna
less.
say something
And
real
now you see the
controversial right now.
stadium empty.
Lauren's bringing the controversy.
I'm gonna say something real controversial right now.
Okay.
Their decisions had been designed to sell merchandise over the past, not this last year, but the whole bringing back, I've now forgot his name. Oh my gosh, to retire with Molina, the guy,
Yeah.
Pujols. Yes, sorry, my mind just blanked on his name. I'm like, guys, ultimately we're here to win baseball games, not sell jerseys.
Not to go on a farewell tour. And
yeah,
sell
this
jerseys.
isn't
Yeah.
this isn't a retiring rock band.
It's how old
But anyway.
I am. As my brain is.
I didn't like
as
it.
I was ticking down the people that could be. I actually went through Mark McGuire.
Yeah, those
Well,
were
I
the good
did
old
just bring up
days.
steroids. So
You did.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw Pujols' face and I missed it, but I haven't liked it at all. And I kind of stopped. I mean, I appreciated that whole thing to an extent, but it was ridiculous when you talk about winning baseball games.
Jose Oquendo.
I love it.
Yeah, we should
cool.
put in Jose Oquendo.
I love
in the front office. He's played every
the utility man.
So
Well,
anyway, that's your baseball report from the Waffle.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I don't watch it because they don't play baseball. You know how I feel about that.
What else is going on in the world?
It's a vice presidential debate tonight.
Oh, that'll be fun. Actually, no. Listen, I will watch it
Listen, Linda.
because look at Linda. I will watch it just because I actually love debate.
Yeah.
And in the last
It's a lost
so-called
art.
debate,
It wasn't.
I found myself
I couldn't watch it.
trying to step. Can I step? Can I have a
step in?
mic?
Can I tap in?
Because I
Excuse
would.
me?
Can I tap in?
I have a
You and
thought
me both,
here.
brother.
It was like there's intelligible statements that can be made here. That
You're not making them.
That was a t-ball.
You're like,
that
shut your
wasn't
mouth.
even a softball. That was a t-ball. And
Yeah.
the
Put
fact
me in,
that you
coach.
didn't hit that, here's what you should have said.
Put me in, coach. I think I actually made a post. This is what Trump should have said.
You did? I think you did, yeah.
In both of them, though, we're like, wait,
They're like-
you didn't answer the question. They asked a question, and you went to
No.
your cue card and that you memorized.
It was bad.
It was so
bad.
So I love debate, and I have a feeling, at least from Vance, because he's actually trained in the art of debate as a lawyer. But I think it'll actually be interesting tonight. We'll say
it'll
that.
be interesting to see what J.D. Vance will do. Tim Walz is already out there saying, well, I'm just a public school teacher and he's a lawyer, so I don't know how I'm gonna, that lawyer he's
What?
gonna come and get me, and I'll do my best. But he's already out there doing this shuck and jive thing
Oh, my
because
gosh.
his
man.
positions are undefensible.
Oh
Yeah.
my! Oh
He's
bananas!
right about so
we're
many things.
we're in
There's so
trouble.
many- It's like, you can just see it. It's like, J.D. Vance is picking on me. You can just see it's set up.
Since that's the
Yeah.
vibe that I want to get from the
I'm gonna
VP.
watch it. I'm going to watch it anyway. I'm curious to see how it goes. I mean,
I'm probably not.
Typically, vice presidential debates are meaningless.
Yeah.
But I
Sometimes
actually,
hilarious.
yes.
Yeah.
But I do think this one might be might have a little more weight than prior years, just because there was only one presidential debate
Yeah.
and it was
Nothing
worthless.
It wasn't worth it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It wasn't worth it.
I'm curious. I'll watch.
It's a hot mess
I'll
express.
catch up with what I can. I got a meeting. I
Oh,
got to go to.
Beth said more material for SNL. Yeah.
Yes,
Ooh,
indeed.
Wow. How about that?
Burn.
though? How
Beth
about
burn
that?
early in the
Yeah.
morning. I like it.
Absolutely.
They caught some flack. No. Well, should I say it that way?
SNL.
Yeah.
Did
Well,
they?
no, their cold open was basically joking about the assassination attempt.
It's terrible. You can't do that.
yeah.
You cannot
People
joke
were
about
like,
that.
That's really probably.
It's
not
all
funny.
fair, and
You
so
can't-
you jump
you
into an
can't joke about
assassination
that.
You know,
attempt.
I'm of 2 minds because at one point I'm kind of like, aren't we? I think, and this is where I think Trump kind of can shine. Is he's tough enough to go, you know what? You can make fun of me for that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And I think he's the type of guy that can say that, and I think that would be very admirable. And he by the way, he wasn't one of the ones that took offense at it. Other people took offense on his
Sure.
behalf, as we like
Yeah.
to do in
Right.
this day and age.
Yes.
I'll be offended for you.
I'll be offended
You're
for
not
you.
offended enough. I'll
That's right.
ramp it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they took a little heat over that.
I think this is probably true of every generation. You watch it when you're a kid, and then you're just like, oh, it's not good anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't pay attention, mostly because on Saturday nights I'm trying to get to bed. But
I don't get the jokes anymore.
yeah. But I tell you what, I caught the. It was shared on YouTube. The Nate Bargatze bit.
Yes.
The General Washington.
Oh, brilliant.
Hilarious.
Hilarious. And
I don't know if I've
Oh
heard
my
that one.
When
goodness.
we went to see him live,
Yeah, and I missed that.
they played that clip.
Did they really?
Yeah, in the auditorium, like
Oh, that's
before
so
he
funny.
came on stage. That was like his intro video was that clip from SNL.
That was
And it is
brilliant.
hilarious. If you
Oh,
haven't checked
so
that out,
funny.
I need to. I don't think I've seen
Yeah,
that.
I'll
I've seen
send
a
you-
lot of his
I'll
stuff.
send
I
you a
don't think
link.
I've seen
It's-
He's
it.
George Washington,
Yeah.
and he's talking about the forming the country, and
He's got guys around him that are asking questions. What will it be? And,
yeah, and Keenan Wayans is in
Oh,
there,
I have
and,
seen it. I don't remember
Yeah.
it very well, but I have an image
Oh,
in my
man.
head of it now.
oh man.
and we will have a system of weights and measures.
Yes. Yeah.
He just keeps going right past him. But what does it mean for the black man? And there will be football.
Oh my goodness.
It's great.
And it's October 1st, right? We're
It is,
officially
yes.
we're officially in
Fourth
fall for
quarter.
several days now.
It's the fourth
Is
quarter.
it the fourth quarter?
Technically, we're not in fall yet, though, right? Is
No,
that-
we are. It
Oh, yeah,
happened.
yeah,
It happened
September
September
20. Yeah,
20
that's right.
something.
Last week was fall. This week is October. So.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're going into third summer starting like tomorrow, I think. So
Dang
You
it.
start watching all the movies you've wanted to watch all year, but we're afraid to. Because
Hey, and look, good time to remind everybody at Storytime Coffee Company. Mm-hmm. We use real pumpkin in our pumpkin spice lattes.
pumpkin-licious.
So it's pumpkin spice latte time. Hey, you don't even have to hide it anymore, ladies.
in the
Don't you
back,
hide it.
It's
grinding up the
October.
pumpkins.
You can drink a PSL special every day.
sorry, I just
I've,
spit.
I've got
I'm
the,
drooling thinking about a PSL.
I've got the cinnamon toast crunch.
Oh, how good is that?
It's good with an
good.
extra shot of espresso.
Yeah, there you go. To balance out all that sweetness.
My ulcer just hissed at
Had
you.
to
It's like
balance that out.
I don't do sweet coffees, but that is incredible.
I
That
don't-
cinnamon toast crunch.
I don't usually either, but this is.
It's so good.
Yeah, I've really, since the stomach issue, I've really limited the coffee intake. In fact, this is the first time I've even brought a coffee back on. I'm being careful with it, man.
Yeah, I
Woo!
hear you.
I don't want to do that. I don't
just
want to
keep-
alert the stomach
I just keep
authorities.
taking Nexium.
Just keep popping Nexium. Oh, yeah.
started on the Nexium, yeah.
Yeah, I started like 20 years ago.
And I just started.
I asked my doctor, I'm like, so there's this issue. And he's like, have you tried to get off? Yeah. He goes, what's it like? It's awful. He goes, yeah, I'd say just keep taking it. Whatever effects you get from taking Nexium every day is probably better than getting esophageal cancer from the
yeah.
acid. So,
Now they.
Yeah, you don't
Carry
want
on.
They're
that.
only supposed to take for like 2 weeks, right?
yeah, I've been on it for 20 years.
Okay. Kind of like the Afrin, the nose spray.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hyped up like I'm on meth.
I got afraid to use Afrin because of that. Like,
or any
yeah.
nasal spray
Or
because of
any,
Afrin.
because I was
Yeah.
like,
Nate
it is
Bargatze,
highly
that's one of his
addictive.
bits, isn't it?
Yeah, it is,
Dad
yeah.
Being on the
Who knew?
Being on the
40
Afrin.
years.
Who knew?
And him lying about to the doctor and his mom calling him out. Like,
Oh, he's a funny dude.
Oh, it's so funny how things are safe. This is safe. Take this. No, it's not. It's
Yeah.
not
Really
safe
not.
at all.
We'll tell you in 40 years.
It's terrible. Don't
why
do
you shouldn't
that.
have.
well, now they've come all the way around on eggs. Eggs were terrible.
Oh,
They
yeah.
give you high cholesterol.
Cholesterol,
Well,
yeah.
just eat the whites.
Eggs are fine.
You can eat a little bit. Now, eggs are a superfood.
Yeah.
Now eggs are the superfood.
I just
trust the science.
I'm of the opinion, and I made a big rant post about this yesterday because I just occasionally like to rant about
Were you
something.
wondering about it?
I was ranting about the crap that they're putting in food.
I didn't catch it.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So they're
Reset.
the garbage ingredients that they put in food, like, why are we okay with this? That's what I don't understand. Yet we're going to go after things like eggs. Eggs are fine. Pretty much everything is fine in moderation as long as it's not dumpster fire poison. You know what I mean?
Well, all they ever do is rename the bad ingredients.
Yeah.
So now they just have new names to them.
I
Same bad stuff.
really don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, and I wouldn't be.
I think you're already there, Will.
Except for the fact that they keep coming true.
Yeah.
We keep realizing, like, oh, no, that was real,
Yeah.
And so the idea that they're actually putting nasty stuff in your food so that you'll be a little bit unhealthy, so that you'll have to go to the doctor, so that you'll have to be a lifelong participant in the industrial medical complex. What I'm saying is there's a non-zero chance that is true.
I don't necessarily think it's that malicious. I just think it is a combination of it's really difficult to produce mass quantities of food. Mm-hmm. And it's whatever they can do to cut corners, they're going to do to keep their prices down or their profits high, either one. And combine that with a healthy, vibrant advertising, marketing dynamic that affects food production, because you have your marketing department telling you in order to sell these spicy chips, they need to be red to the
Very
point
red.
of melt your face red. I'm going to still eat the spicy chip.
Yeah.
Maybe not right now, but if it's not nuclear red,
Yeah, just take some Nexium.
like when I see blue chips, I don't want to eat a blue chip. It's unnerving.
It is so weird.
Invest in blue
Blueberries
chips.
aren't even blue. Like, don't give me a blue chip. I don't want one. So I really do think it is a combination of the manufacturing process, how difficult that is, because it's extremely difficult. I don't think, when you think about food production, it's mind-blowing when you really think about food production for the masses.
So here's the moral story. Don't think about food production.
Don't think about
Stay
it.
ignorant.
Also,
Yeah.
underestimate how evil people are and can be, and how smart people are.
Well,
and
you
can
have to
be.
define, when you say evil, you have to define that, because when you say evil,
Yeah.
right, we're heading into Halloween now, right?
Right.
So it's October.
Spooky.
So, but no,
There's
that's the
two
thing.
kinds of evil, I
We
guess,
think
so.
in terms of this over, just out there in your face evil, but evil is what she just described.
Selfishness.
It's selfishness.
Yeah,
That's it.
there's that.
So it's bottom line, not health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we don't care what it does to you, but we do care about our bottom line.
Well, we don't care
Yeah.
what it does to somebody else. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. And I think
But that's called evil. It's
Yeah,
just,
it is.
it's acceptable evil.
I think that
Yeah,
we underestimate people's ability to be that kind of evil, especially when it's not staring you in the face.
Right.
Yes. Well, and I really struggle with, like, go to the grocery store and you can stand in the middle of several aisles and look in both directions, and nothing you're seeing is providing any real nutrition to your body.
Mm-hmm.
That is concerning.
Yeah.
That's concerning.
Yep.
When we have people starving, and when we have an obesity crisis, and we have an addiction. I mean, the sugar. Jesse accidentally got given a sweet tea from a local fast food restaurant. I won't say which one. And
Syrup.
he took a drink of it and was like, "What?"
Yeah.
It's like syrup.
Shock to your system.
And I took a drink of it, and I about nuclear melted down. Evelyn, who's our little hummingbird, took a drink of it. She couldn't
Too
even
sweet
drink
for her.
it.
Wow.
That's when you know you're in
So
trouble.
it got dumped down the sink, and I mean, the post I shared yesterday was a doctor who I follow on Instagram who gives really good information. She's an ER doctor in Tampa. Her house just got flooded. I think it's Tampa Bay area. Yeah.
That's bad. Flooding bad.
She was talking about slushies. Slushies
Sugar.
have glycerin in them, and
Glycol.
they literally can poison children under the age of 4, and children under the age of 10 should only at most consume one. And I'm sure that's
Ever.
really not
In a
one day
lifetime.
ever. Because they literally can cause, it's sugar from alcohol. They can
Yeah.
cause, what?
Craziness.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can envision though, because you got to be able to, if you're entrepreneurial, you think of things. And so you can think of a system whereby, okay, here's what we're going to do. We are going to, and I'm taking policies that have actually been on the table and proposed by major political party candidates to say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to let in anybody we want into the country. We're going to give them free transgender surgery, and then we're going to put them
We're
on
back in left field.
No, listen, we're going to put them on health care, and then if you have a
talking about additives,
if you have
preservatives,
it's the same thing. It's what transgender surgery is. It's additives. We're going to add some things, and we're going to take some things away. But then you're going to be be required for the rest of your life to be on health care. You have to have treatments the rest of your life.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
And by the way, we're going to have the government pay for it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now we have created we're going to tax these people. We're going to filter it through the government to pay for these people's health care, and we're all just going to sit here and make the profit off of it because we're the people that provide the transgender surgery and support and medication for a lifetime, and we've just built the system.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to the tea. Beth, I used to do half and half tea. Now it's quarter sweet tea and the rest unsweet tea. I agree. And Will, I'm not downgrading what you're saying. You went quick to the left, or I guess quick to the right on us.
There are people that can, if I can think of that, there's people that can think of that that would be willing to do it, willing and able to do it.
But
I
I do think a lot of that is, it's not like somebody gets a job in the food industry or the medical industry and says, I'm going to corrupt the world, unless they're like the Joker or something.
No,
but
it's your Rothschild.
it's a gradual.
It's
There
your
were
It's a-
industrial
people that have the
advancements.
ability to
There
do
were
it.
scientific advancements, and so
Rockefellers.
from a chemistry standpoint,
The Obamas,
so
the Clintons.
it's
People
so
have the ability to do that.
you know how it is
Yeah.
when you discover something new. It's like, oh, look at this is cool, and a lot of
Yeah.
times you're willing to ignore the side effects
Or the old, I know what's better for everybody. I know better than they know what's good for them. That's a lot. I
Well,
really
yeah.
think that's a lot
And
of
it's
the
the old
problem.
movies.
There
I
wasn't
think
anybody
it's a great
sitting around
invention.
going, how can we
Let's-
kill all the
let's
people
make
with
people
food?
fat.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean that was not
No.
it, but this is what it became.
But if I make people fat, I can make a lot of people money treating their fatness.
Well, and
Correct.
the scary
That's
thing
out
is there's a lot of, here's my biggest concern right now. There's a lot of talk of kindness. It's not making bullying better. There's a lot of talk of issues with our food, but not to beat up on 7 Brew, but 7 Brews are on every corner, and all that is
sugar.
sugar
Quit
or
going to
artificial
7 Brew.
sugar.
I
It's scary. I'm
it's-
like, it's scary.
go ask any high school teacher. They'll tell you there are 7 Brew cups all over that high school. Think about how far you have to drive to go to 7 Brew,
I'm scared.
to go get poison, and then come back.
It's like a blue chip.
It really is. It has become like having the right handbag. It's having a 7 Brew
By
cup.
the time you get to be my age and figure it out, like you're going to die. And then, and the young kids won't listen to us. And so
Right.
they have to learn on their own.
They do.
But, like,
They don't
I'm
learn until
History
they get my
unread.
age. And,
Yeah.
you got to listen to, we're called elders for a reason.
I'm scared like this. And, and don't get me wrong. A 7 Brew every once in a while is totally fine. A pumpkin
what they
spice
want you- that's how
latte,
they
a
get
real
you.
pumpkin spice latte is better than a fake pumpkin spice
Well, that's what
latte.
I'm saying. Like natural
But
ingredients.
moderation.
Yeah, moderation.
Holy
right?
Moses, moderation. Like, what? But we're saying all these things and our actions are completely opposite.
Yeah. Right.
That's my biggest concern right now.
Yeah.
It's concerning. So, I don't know.
Lauren's concerned, everyone.
I just want him to take the weird blue and red and yellow and weird dyes
it out.
and strange
Get the
things.
dye, no food
Just
dyes.
get it out.
That's
and
right.
honestly, if you get that out, you know who is lobbying for that? The people who produce those things. That's the problem.
The actual producers.
The actual producers. Yeah, they're the ones trying to keep. And it is the whole like gaslighting thing. Like we've done studies and it's fine. They also used to think it was fine for pregnant women to smoke and all of the other things. And they also
for
used to
anybody.
think it was
For
okay to
anybody
take.
to
They
smoke.
told you
Yeah.
the COVID shot worked and was safe. And neither of those things was true.
We don't know. And I mean,
we do know they weren't worth it.
well, yeah, there was anyway, but it's right field.
Will's like, I'm going to yank this wheel.
He's like,
Keep throwing them
put your
softballs. I'm going to
seatbelts
keep
on.
knocking them.
Put your seatbelts on. We're taking a hard right.
Will came with some things to say today.
He did.
And I don't care what the topic is. I'm going to say these.
I had a good night's sleep and I've had coffee.
He's rowdy today, folks. Scary, rowdier than normal. I walked in and he was rowdy. He's
It's
fired
like
up.
turned October. He's like, the election's in a month. We got to get
He's
this
like,
out there.
Gotta get this done.
Give me an extra shot of espresso.
I did. I had
This is
extra time.
on.
Ready to go.
Speaking of the election, but not.
Yeah. Oh, wait, we're back.
Did you see the polls that came out yesterday about the shift in blue collar workers
Yeah, I
and the
did.
shift in Latin voters
So, like,
and
all the-
and
all of
let's not
those-
talk about the election per se, but
Okay.
because I'm concerned about people. I find that stuff fascinating.
Yep.
It's very interesting.
That the Republican Party, they've been saying this for a while, is truly becoming now the working class party,
Yeah.
which used to be opposite. It is literally
oh, yeah.
switching, and now the numbers are bearing it out.
It's
8 years
yeah.
ago, 4 years ago, and now it just continues to project that way.
And what I would argue is it's always been the party of the people. It's just people finally figuring it out.
I don't disagree with that at all. I do
because-
think that there was a lot of.
You've got to, and this is where, like, my rational Democrat voter friends. So it's like, I just want you to pay attention, because you talk about your actions not matching what you say. You're like, we're against Wall Street. We're against these corporations. We're against all this stuff. Like, those are all Democrats. All of your big media, all of your big corporations, all of your big Hollywood, all of your big health, all the people that you as a liberal say you're against, they're all
Yeah.
Democrats.
The filthy
All
rich are
s-
blue.
They're all blue.
Right.
So if you're really, the 1% are blue. If you're a 99%er, you should be red.
Yeah.
Because that's where the red is.
So that narrative's finally, and again, I'm not concerned about right now in this conversation about the
Yeah.
election. I just find it fascinating because I care about people.
Yeah.
And so to see the shift tells you how people are hurting.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they're willing to break off of certain allegiances because they're going, I'm struggling to pay my bills.
Well, eventually-
I'm worried
How
that
could you not be right now?
right. So the working class, and when I say working class, I don't mean that doesn't mean poor.
And-
this is people that do well in the
No.
working class, but it's like they can't make it.
Here's where
No,
I stand.
they can't. They're
If
set
you've
up to
been a
fail.
lifelong
They can't pay their
Democrat and you're like,
employees.
I'm for the working man. I'm for free speech. I'm for all this stuff. How can you look at a party that has Gavin Newsom that is censoring people to like crazy in
Right.
California and go, yeah, that's my guy.
Well, and John Kerry comes out yesterday saying that Amendment 1 is a
Yeah.
threat.
Yeah, John
to-
Kerry is saying that the First Amendment is a threat to democracy. How can, if you're a free speech liberal Democrat, how can you claim that that's your party anymore?
It's
not.
it's really interesting because again, being a debate guy,
Yeah.
I grew up in a time period where I was having to debate, this idea of free speech. What does that mean? Because it was the liberal side that was always pounding free speech, and taking Amendment 1 where the
Well,
First
there's a
Amendment where they
huge
wanted it to
difference
be.
From saying, that book is, because of its sexual nature, it's
Shouldn't be in a public
inappropriate
school.
to be in a public school for children.
For second graders,
and
yeah.
saying, I'm going to put you in jail in California because you shared a political meme I don't like.
Right, that's very different.
That's very different.
Well, I think
One
what is the
censorship, the
actual
other's common
what's the
sense.
actual definition of free speech? Like that's my question. Like, what is the actual definition of that?
Well,
you can say anything you want anytime, or what is
So
the
I think
definition?
if you're going to kind of back it up to a legal perspective, if you're talking about free speech from the perspective of the constitutional free speech that we started with, you can say anything of a political nature. That's what was intended to be protected, was political speech.
Okay, that's
Yes.
that's what I'm asking.
We want people to have a free exchange of ideas about how their country should be governed, what their rights should be, and all of that. We never really intended to protect obscene speech or speech that was going to incite violence. And that's where it gets a little tricky with the hate speech stuff.
Yeah, because it's
inciting violence is it has to be a very narrow definition in order to protect true speech. Inciting violence has to be like, let's go kill that guy.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
you can't do. Or shouting,
it's like
the
screaming fire in a crowded
example,
place.
shouting
Yes.
fire in
Yeah.
a crowded
To
theater.
Yeah.
move beyond legalese, let's get to the point of it. The point is to have free exchange of ideas.
Yes.
That we wouldn't stifle.
Yes.
So if you're saying, to go to John Kerry, climate issues.
Yeah.
I need to have a right to say, I'm not sure I agree with that. And here's why. So we need to protect this idea that you believe one thing, I believe another thing. That's Amendment 1.
But
The First Amendment is this idea that you
and
can
that's-
disagree
That's where
politically.
that's where I've always had free speech in my mind. Is it's basically a right to voice your opinion.
Yes.
And the government not and you not be affected by the government doing that.
Or become a political enemy.
So, but here's my thing, though. We're in a
political
weird,
prisoner.
and I don't want to say I'm against free. I'm not. I'm just saying we're in a whole new world of and I was telling Will before this, we're already at war. We're at a war of misinformation. And it's being waged.
This is a new civil war.
This is a new civil war. It's already here. It's already happened. We are in a war of misinformation.
Men are not brave enough to
information.
pick up muskets anymore, but we are
debate,
in.
That's also what I said
debate
before
around
this.
free speech is who gets to be the arbiter and what's
That's
the way
the problem.
of dealing with misinformation.
That's the problem.
So you have blue people, because let's just put the colors on it, or blonde, that say the government should decide what's true and false,
that cannot happen.
And we will punish the people that spread what we decide is misinformation, whereas the red folks, the rest of us, say, no, if there's misinformation out there, we will fight it in the marketplace of ideas with true information. That's how free speech works. Is if someone is spreading false information, you have to be able to have the ability to spread true information to combat that, which is why Twitter works so well
X.
right now.
Yeah.
X, sorry, the platform formerly known as Twitter, now known as X, works so well is because if someone tweets something that is inaccurate, they don't take it down, they don't block it, but people pile on.
Yeah.
That's not true. That's not
Community
true.
fact check.
Yeah.
The community notes, the community fact check. It works perfectly, rather than Facebook, which puts a big X over.
Well, hold
blocks
on though. I'm gonna say that it doesn't work perfectly though, because there are on both sides of this bots and people spreading inaccurate.
There's still disinformation.
There's still
But
they
disinformation.
wait out.
and say nothing works perfectly.
It doesn't, no.
But that's the best system we have.
And so
It's just like what we have in this country as a constitutional republic. It's the best system. It's not perfect. It's the best system we've ever come up with.
Think about why the phrase "a threat to democracy" gets leverage, right? It works, so to speak. It's because most people don't understand democratic process. They don't understand we're a republic.
Yeah.
They don't understand how our government was set up. So when we say a threat to democracy, most people don't even know what that means.
I have two problems with that phrase. One, democracy is a terrible idea.
Well, right. That's why I said we're a republic.
Secondly, when you say my political opponent is a threat to democracy, you have nowhere to go.
Yeah,
you have nowhere to go.
But it's getting
This is
traction.
back to the words
And
matter
again,
thing.
my point is
That's why people are taking shots at the guy.
right.
Yeah.
But it gets traction because we have people that are uneducated on how our system was set up and how our system has developed or progressed.
The educated people are the ones saying it.
I know.
And they should know
They
better.
know what it means, but they're using it because it gets traction.
Yeah, and that's evil.
Well, it is evil.
It is evil.
I just know we're in
Stop voting for Democrats.
a bad pickle. We're in a bad pickle. And I really do think there is a collective kind of ignoring of the true problems with social media, because there are serious problems that are and I'm not saying it should go away. I'm not saying it should be censored.
It's
I'm
not
more of
going
a
away.
saying, no, it's not going away. I'm more saying, folks, we have some problems. We need to be looking at these. How is this going to develop our society? How is this affecting our elections? Because, again, when they founded the U.S., they had no concept of something like this even existing.
True.
None. And so how do we as a society, it's kind of like the whole Band-Aid versus sewing up the wound. Like, we really need to start rethinking some things, and nobody seems to want to do that.
Well, we have all the answers we need, which is you have to be educated yourself.
Yeah.
You have to train up your children the way.
But where do you get educated? That's the
Well, I
problem.
think
Where do you get
through
educated
life,
now?
right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, you remember when none of us knew what email was? Then we all had email. And then, so people would try to resolve conflict through email, and it would create this great conflict. So we all learned, by trial and error, we learned, okay, if I'm gonna deal with something, that's a face-to-face conversation.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say something behind a computer screen. We learned that.
But I see intelligent, educated people sharing false information every single day.
But so that's my point, though. None of us saw 12 years ago, 8 years ago, how social media would affect elections. Now we're learning, and so I don't know that we'll learn and adapt the right way,
Probably
what we're
not.
seeing is there's an
My guess.
adaptation. Well, if they're going to use it, we got to use it too. If they're going to be evil, we got to be evil better. You know,
We don't need to be evil.
But no, I'm saying that's how it works, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, they're doing this wrongly, therefore I'm going to beat them to it, and I'm going to be. I'm going to come across as not being evil, but I'm going to be just as evil. And so
The only way you can't stop people from sharing false information. We shouldn't try. What you should do is when you see false information, you say, I don't think that's accurate.
And that's what I'm saying, Will.
Yeah.
Like when I go back to that email illustration,
Right.
I now approach everything I read online with great suspicion.
Yes. Sure,
and
But
you
now
should.
we have a new issue.
Right.
We're all becoming cynical.
Yep.
We're all becoming
Oh yeah, that's
we
where
don't
I'm
trust
at. I'm
anybody.
100% there.
And- and so-
I don't trust anybody that I'm not basically encountering in my daily life.
Here's where I'm coming from.
That's where I'm at.
I don't think these are new problems. I think these are old problems on steroids.
Well,
That's fair.
That's correct.
Yeah,
So
that's
we've
fair.
We've got who do I trust?
Yeah.
Do I trust that guy that just rode in on his horse with the letter from France, or do I trust that guy that just rode in on his horse with a letter from France that says something different? It's the same problem. It's just I have to figure out how to vet my sources. To the flip side of that, we have better tools for fact checking than we used to as well.
That is fair.
And that's, I got to tell you, I feel like I'm an evangelist a little bit here, but that's why I'm loving X so much, is because you know what you never saw on Facebook? CBS getting fact checked, ABC getting fact checked, CNN getting fact checked. You go to X, you see CNN getting fact checked. They'll post a story. There'll be people piling on and go, CNN, you said the exact opposite 1 month ago, and here's the link where you said it.
Right.
And everybody's getting fact checked on X, and that's what free speech does for you, and that's why it's fair.
Yeah. Well, it's all out there. I think people ignore it.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Waltz and Harris, 89% favorability reporting on the major networks, 81%
What?
negative
Yeah.
for Trump and Vance.
That's right. And
It's there for everybody to see. And again, I don't care what side you're on, but it should bother you when one group gets positive coverage and the other group gets only negative coverage.
And here's where I think the wisdom of age comes in a little bit, is we know that things, I look down my last 53 years of life. I can see where things went, oop, it's going the wrong way here. Oh, look, it's self-corrected. Oh, it's going the wrong way here. Oop, oh, it's self-corrected. And I think that as long as we allow natural market forces to prevail with as little intervention from government and other things as well, things tend to self-correct. And
Kind of like how the millennials are now changing their political allegiance. Well, now that
exactly.
they have
It's
a little
like,
bit of money in their bank account and in their 401ks. Yeah.
And it happens. And so you kind of have to look at it and go, okay, we know the mainstream media is out of whack, but what I'm seeing here that gives me hope is on X. Again, I'm saying, okay, people are waking up, that Project Mockingbird is real, that we have had a mainstream media through AP, Reuters, and all those things that have been parroting the exact same word for word news stories across our nation that's been fed to them from somebody else over time, and it's a one-sided narrative, and people are waking up to that. And so I'm seeing some self-correction. It's kind of like flying. You know, we have a physical law called gravity that says as things goes up, they must come down. We can overcome that with technology for a period of time, but eventually that plane's coming down. Economics, politics, it's all the same thing. There are natural forces. Men are men and women are women. We can overcome that with technology for a little bit, but guess what? You die and your body decomposes. That's a male skeleton in the ground.
Yeah.
It's all coming back to the ground. And natural forces will out eventually if we can just, and it will out faster if we
like I
keep
said,
government out of it.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right, but natural forces and technology are two different things.
Right, technology.
And-
that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're using technology to try to overcome some of these natural forces.
But I'm not so confident that we can correct from this, is I guess where I'm at.
Well, and eventually we'll get to that point, and then Jesus is coming back.
Yes.
And we know that's true. That's what's going to happen.
Come, Lord Jesus, come.
Yeah, and I mean, okay.
I
Well,
just
as I
think
said in my
in
sermon
general we
on
need to live
Sunday,
our daily lives better.
Be careful saying the world is more evil now than it used to be.
I don't think
I
it
don't
is.
I don't
It's
believe
just
it
a
is
new
either.
iteration of the same evil.
And we've got a little
Well,
bit
and
horsepower
frankly, we
to
just
get evil
know
done.
we just know a whole lot
it's
more
just
than
done
we used to.
differently.
Yeah.
We just know a
The
whole
evil-
lot
We're
more.
better at it.
The evil gets communicated differently. And
Yeah.
and unfortunately, in this worldwide platform that just goes out very, very quickly.
Same old balls, same
It's-
old
yeah.
Molochs, same old Asherahs. They've
Yep.
always been there.
It's just
They're
it's the
just,
same.
they're just draped in new clothes,
Yeah.
new technology.
Yep. There was a flood. It was pretty evil then. And there's another flood coming, but it won't be water. So keep that in mind.
Come, Lord Jesus, come.
Well,
Maranatha.
there you
We
go.
love y'all.
There's a
Waffle. Thanks
show.
for watching. There's one of you still hanging with us. We appreciate that. That was fun, and I guess we'll do it again next week, huh?
See you next week.
Sounds good.
Thanks for watching.
Peace.